Thank you for joining as we hack into the export of hibiscus flower. I'm hoping it's going to be a rewarding experience for you as you learn about how to export this important product. Export hack basically cover different products for export, basically narrowing down on the particular product of choice as far as export business is concerned. Please, if you have questions, drop it in the chat as we start. I won't be able to take questions until we finish. So if you have question, clarification, drop it in the chat and I will respond to it as we go along. You can visit our YouTube channel, globaltradecollect.com and Voice of African Trade to learn more about different export products. We try to drop messages there every week for those interested in learning. And that depends basically on your area of interest. So here is the hibiscus flower. Many of us are familiar with it. And that's the focus of our discussion today. So let's start. The first is the product. What's hibiscus flower? It's called Hibiscus sadarifa. It belongs to the family of Malvaceae. It's an annual herb cultivated for its leaves, stem, seed, and calyces. The crop is native to India, but was introduced to other parts of the world, Central America, West Indies, Africa. It is best in tropical and subtropical regions. It does a lot well in tropical and subtropical region. In Nigeria, we call it zobo. I really don't know where that name emerged from. But in Nigeria, we call it zobo. The Nigerian hibiscus sponge is made from an infusion of dry hibiscus calyces, which form at the base of flower as they mature. These red calyces are frequently used as a natural food coloring also, and make a delicious herb. And you actually have people make herbal tea from this. Herbal punch, which can be taken hot or cold. You know, recently, I think it was in University of Nigeria, Nsukka, that a professor gave an inaugural lecture on the antihypertensive benefit of zobo. Antihypertensive benefit of zobo. I notice zobo when I drink it. If I drink zobo tea, I will know because I will feel a decrease in hypertension. Sorry, in blood pressure rather, like hypotension, like the medical people will call it. So for those that have hypertension, it can actually bring down the pressure. Particularly if you take the concentrated herbal tea of zobo. So if you know someone that is hypertensive, buying herbal tea will be a good thing for them. And they can buy master tea. Master tea is one of the foremost herbal tea producer in Africa. And it's from Nigeria. Harvest. Hibiscus is harvested late December and onward. The harvest is timed according to the ripeness of the seed. The fleshy calyces are harvested after the flower has dropped, but before the seed pod has dried and opened. The timing is very important to ensure it's mature. The more the time the capsule remain on the plant after seed begin to ripen, the more susceptible the calyces is to sores. So timely harvesting is important. The more it becomes susceptible to sores, sun cracking, and general deterioration of quality. It has to be harvested, but before the seed pod has dried and opened. It's widely grown in tropics cultivation in Nigeria, in different parts of Nigeria, particularly the northeastern and middle belt Nigeria. If you are exporting this item, moisture content should be less than 12%. 12% moisture content, below that is preferred. High moisture content can lead to mold growth Foliage during transport and storage. Color, deep red to purplish red color. And the color is an indicator of the quality and freshness of the flower. Admixture, foreign matter, like wood or broken wood. Foreign matter, such as leaf, stem, dead, should not be more than 2%. It has to be whole or even chopped flower acceptable. Acidity, the ideal range of total acidity is between 25 and 30%. Hibiscus extract, the minimum content of hibiscus extract can vary depending on the buyer specification, but it's typically around 41%. Ash content, that's after you have burned it, the level of ash remaining, around 10%. Some people want to know the vitamin C content, and that's actually what contributes to the reduction of blood pressure. You know, as a science student, I have a medical background, and my research as an undergraduate was the effect of vitamin C on blood pressure in salt-loaded human. And we gave people, of course, salty water, sweeten it a little, and gave them vitamin C also over a period to measure the blood pressure increase first, and then how vitamin C reduces. So vitamin C content of that product is why it's able to have hypotension effect between 80 milligram and 100 milligram of vitamin C per 100 gram of hibiscus flower. It has culinary uses. As tea, I told you about master tea. If you have someone that have hypertension, they can bring down the hypertension by taking herbal tea, maybe once or twice a day, rather than taking any other tea. Take herbal tea. And this herbal tea in question, I'm talking about hibiscus tea. All right? The most common use is brewing the dry flower to create a ruby red infusion with a tap, cranberry-like flavor. Enjoy it hot or cold, plain, or sweetened with honey. Not with sugar. Okay? Beverages. Add hibiscus to soda, juice, kombucha for a refreshing and colorful twist. Food coloring. The vibrant hue, natural color, jam, jellies, sauces, and icing. The culinary garnish. Decorate cake, dessert, cocktail with oil or ground hibiscus flower for a striking touch. Syrup and jams. Use flour to create flavor syrup for pancakes, cocktails, yogurt, or simmer them with sugar for delicious jams. The idea here basically is the multiple uses. And this is important because that also gives you an idea of the reason for the demand. That also gives you an idea of the reason for the demand. Beyond the kitchen, do you know this product is used in hair care? Hibiscus is believed to promote hair growth, prevent dandruff, and add shine. Use it in hair rinses, mask, and infused oil. Skincare. The flower's antioxidant, because vitamin C is an antioxidant. You know, as you eat and your body do a lot of metabolic activity, it produces oxygen radicals, hydrozonium ion, that have damaging effect on the body cells. So that's why vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E are antioxidants that if you take it well enough, it can wear out and reduce significantly the level of oxygen radicals in your system. But this particular fruit has antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, and this may aid in soothing skin irritation, reducing blemishes, ladies, reducing blemishes, and use it in facial mask and toner. Natural dyes. Create vibrant red and pink dye for fabrics, and craft using a simple infusion process. Also, in potpourri and incense, add dry hibiscus to a blend to potpourri blend of a beautiful and fragrant addition to your home. Medicinal uses traditionally used in some culture for various ailments. Research is ongoing to confirm potential benefits. Seek better advice before using it for medicinal purposes. Now, let's move on to the potential. Now, this benefit explains the reason why there is so much potential. You know, when you are looking at a product like this, you are asking, okay, why are people buying it so much? Why is there so much interest? Why is there so much interest? The import volume is about 3.2 billion. Why? Because of those uses. Because of those uses. Look at the potential. Can you see the demand? 3.2 billion. Demand is huge. Who are those buying? United States, followed by Germany, followed by Japan, followed by China, South Korea, France. What is the volume that US is buying? Out of the 3.2 billion, US demand is 531 million. Germany, $429 million. Japan, $240 million. China, $198 million. South Korea, $132.4 million. France, $128.6 million. Spain, $116.7 million. India, about $115 million. And United Kingdom, 103. United States purchases 16.5%. Germany, 13.3%. Japan, 7.4%. China, 6.1%. South Korea, 4.1%. France, 4.0%. United Kingdom, 3.2%. India, 3.6% in terms of demand around the world. Now that we know there is demand, huge market, I must say. Next, how do we export this item? What are the important quality considerations when we are trying to export this item? Packaging. Preserving dry hibiscus flower in a shipping container during transit is crucial to maintain their quality and prevent spoilage. So what are the measures to put in place? Selection of packaging material. Choose packaging material that are suitable for dry hibiscus flower, providing protection from external elements like moisture, light, contaminants. Common material include food-grade, moisture-resistant bag or sack. Whenever you are exporting agro products, particularly products that can be damaged by moisture, you can't use a used bag. It has to be food grade, fresh, clean, and then moisture resistant. Airtight packing. Ensure that packaging is airtight to prevent entry of moisture, which can lead to mold growth. If you have followed us for a while, you will notice that mold is a big deal for agri commodities. Mold. Ensure the packing is airtight, prevent moisture, which can lead to mold growth and degradation of hibiscus flower. Proper sealing help in maintaining the quality, the product quality and shelf life. Then transparent packing. Consider transparent and semi-transparent packing to allow visual inspection of dry hibiscus. This is especially very important for customers who prefer to assess quality of products before purchase. Labeling information and information. Include clear and comprehensive labeling and packaging information as expected. Provide this information enhance transparency and meet regulatory requirements. Bulk packing. For large shipment, use bulk packaging. For large shipments, use bulk packaging options such as jute sack or woven PP bag. Ensure that these bulk packages are properly sealed to prevent contamination during transportation. Protection from sunlight. Protect dry hibiscus from exposure to direct sunlight during packaging. consider using opaque or UV resistant material to prevent degradation. Now, I will, even though some people recommend transparent, based on research and of course recommendation of many buyers, I would not recommend you use transparent. Rather, use opaque material. Generally, the idea is to minimize as much as possible exposure to air, moisture, and sunlight. Cushion and padding. Remember, it's flour. If it's extremely dry, it can break. Use appropriate cushion and padding material inside the packaging to prevent breakage and maintain intact structure of dry flour. This is particularly important for fragile flours. Hermetic sealing. In cases where extended shelf life is crucial, consider hermetic sealing method to create a barrier against external air. That means it's sealed in a way that air cannot enter. And of course, it will have been that even though you are sealing in a way that air cannot enter, you are also conscious of the fact that inner lining will be good. Inner lining will be good to minimize entry of any form of barrier as much as possible. Compliance with export regulation. Ensure that packaging adheres to international regulation. Different countries have different regulation, and your contract should have specified the regulation. Quality control measure. Implement stringent quality control measure during packaging process. Regularly inspect and sample package dry hibiscus flour to maintain consistent quality and identify any issue promptly. By adhering to this packaging practice, exporter can enhance the marketability of their product, maintain product quality, meet the specification of the international buyer, additionally consulting with regulatory authority in Nigeria, for example. Of course, you cannot be exporting without the light of federal produce and Nigerian Agricultural Quarantine Service. Dry hibiscus flour typically shipped in two main ways, in bags and in bulk. Here are the breakdown of each method and potential number of tons. Bag shipment, common for smaller shipment, and it involves use of PP bag. Can be 10 kg bag, 25 kg bag, 50 kg bag. Advantage is that it's easier to handle, better protection for the flour. Disadvantage, less space efficient, higher packaging cost. The number of bags per container depends on the bag size and stacking efficiency. If you are doing 10 kg bag, you can load 16 to 800 bags. That's about 16 to 18 tons per container. If you are doing 50 bag, 25 kg bag, 600 to 700 bags per container, implying about 15 to 17.5 tons per container. If you are loading 50 kg bag, around 300 to 350 bags per container, implying about 15 to 17 tons per container. Bulk shipment prefer for large order. It's cost effective, efficient loading and unloading, requires specialized equipment and infrastructure to get it into the ship and take it out. A 20-foot container can typically take around 18 to 22 if you are doing bulk, but the container must be very clean. Very, very clean. Additional factor, hibiscus flour quality. Higher grade flour might be packed in smaller bags for better protection. Origin and destination, regulation and preference may influence packaging choice. Moisture control, maintain dry condition throughout the journey, and this is crucial to preserve the flour. Cost and efficiency, balancing cost with potential protection and space utilization is important. And remember, sustainability. For those that have not seen it before, here call me hibiscus flour. Here call me hibiscus flour. Can you see it in the bag? When we return,
John, a determined entrepreneur, desired to go into export business but was clueless about the process. He was introduced to Export Hack, a comprehensive and product-specific online course for mastering export of agro-commodities, processed foods, solid minerals and manufactured goods. John immediately bought the export hack for product of his choice at 100,000 naira per product and voraciously learned about the specifications, packaging, documentation, market potential, pitfalls, pricing, risk mitigation, and strategies for securing buyers abroad. Through Export Hack's guidance, John boosted his export skills and became a proficient exporter. With the newfound expertise, he navigated the challenging landscape and successfully avoided common pitfalls in export business. Today, John stands as a master in exports business, a testament to his perseverance and invaluable lessons from the Export Hack. To buy the Export Hack for your product of choice, visit globaltradecollege.com or call 080920000424, 080920000424.
All right, welcome back. Let's move on to paperwork. If you are going into export, you will have to deal with a number of documentation. International trade is a business of documentation. You have to do documents like commercial invoice, which is the unit price quantity of the goods you are shipping. Packing list, that's just basically showing how the goods are packed. Bill of lading, that's the transport document. That's the transport document to destination. That's the transport document to destination. That's the evidence that shipping line have received the goods, evidence of shipment, and evidence of delivery and title to the goods. Certificate of origin. Not all countries we ask for this, but some countries we have, depending on the agreement they have with your country. Phytosanitary certificate is issued by the Nigeria Agricultural Quarantine Service, certifying the Hibiscus is free of pest. Export declaration filed with the bank in Nigeria, submit to custom authority through the inspection agent to declare what you are shipping out. Inspection certificate issued by independent inspector, verifying the quality and quantity of dry hibiscus flower against agreed upon specification like moisture, content, color, and absence of contaminant. Microbiological certificate analysis, depending on the importing country, required to ensure there is no harmful bacteria or microorganism. Fumigation certificate required by some country to ensure that the pest control, there's evidence that has been done. Traceability system, some countries require it, country-specific requirement that will be stated on your contract. You need professional guidance if you are doing it for the first time to ensure you do not make mistakes. In Nigeria today, I think it was Mexico working with Nigerian government to set up a place to process hibiscus in Nigeria and bag it to minimize, the issue of pests that made them to ban Nigeria for a few years. Remember accuracy and completion of your documentation and timely preparation, particularly if you are doing letter of credit. Then, remember, NXP, pro forma invoice, export license. You need to have a CAC. You pay your next fee to do your pre-export documentation, and you do also fill in the detail of the RFI. So the inspection agent, the rolling technology in Lagos. Exchange control issued by Customs GD, single good declaration, and CCI by the inspection agent. Shipping document, bill of lading, invoice, packing list, plus factory certificate, fumigation certificate, third-party inspection certificate, all to give buyer assurance of the quality of the good they are exporting. So please, you see those last documents? It's very important. Most countries will require the three of them. Some will require phyto and its third-party inspection alone. But it's important you ensure you get this document and you can get them from the right agency. I've mentioned their name, from Guion Certificate, from Federal Produce, Phytosanitary, from Nigeria Agricultural Quarantine Service. The process. Understanding export process is very crucial. Understanding export process is very crucial. The first in the process is preparation. Ladies and gentlemen, you see what we are discussing today is part of the preparation. Learning how to find buyer is part of the preparation. getting ready, doing export readiness assessment is part of the preparation. When you are prepared, you know what to do to get buyers. If you don't know what to do to get buyers, it's because you are not prepared. If you learn and you practice what you are learning, you will know how to promote, and if you promote very well, you will get purchase order, you will negotiate your pricing. Immediately purchase order is signed, you can go and procure. But please, before you finalize, whenever you are doing commodity export from Nigeria, before you finalize your pricing, ensure you have a source and you know the price has been locked down. Maybe you pay some advance, so that when you are paying that advance to lock down the price, you are also signing the agreement so you can begin procurement and shipment. If you get a price today and you go and finalize the buyer, come back in a week or two, the price will not be the same. The price keeps changing for obvious reasons. For obvious reasons. For obvious reasons. The demand is high and people are on queue, so the price keep changing. And the prices are going up, and really, really going up very, very high. Really, really going up very, very high. So it's important for you to understand this challenge of likely change in price and factor that in before you go and sign any agreement. Packaging and labeling is done. Then you do pre-export documentation. I've shown you that already. Then you do port clearance and shipment. Your agent will handle that for you. We can also assist you if you are looking for forwarder to help you with the shipment. Post-export document, that's the documentation going to the buyer with the fumigation for outstanding bill of lading, invoice, and packing list. Port-to-port shipment is done while document is dispatched to the buyer or to his bank for document to be released to the importer to clear the goods, inspect the goods, and pay after. Some buyer will pay before they see the goods. Some will pay after they see the goods, depending. This is why you need to have a representative at destination so you are not afraid of someone defrauding you. The next thing is, how do you get buyers? How do you get buyers for Hibiscus? Remember, the buyers are in the US. Remember, the buyers are in Germany. Remember, the buyers are in Japan. Remember, the buyers are in China, in France, in Spain, in South Korea, in UK. This is where the buyers are. So if you are going to promote, you have to target market those markets. But please, before you target market, ensure you observe the protocol in finding buyers. I have about 26 protocols I recommend you consider in finding buyers. Why? If you don't observe those protocols, what will happen is you might get contact and not be able to convert to contract. People might even become suspicious of you because you don't appear prepared for the market. So it shows you what you need to put in place, how to go about it before you begin to prospect for buyers. You can prospect on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, social media. You can buy data from database company, data of importers in a particular country. You can get from B2B portals. There's some portal, if you register and pay, you will get people showing interest in your product within a week. International trade fairs, that's more expensive than having a partner, a rep at destination. This is non-negotiable, either as a branch set up by you or overseas subsidiary in partnership with another company over there, or having your own overseas sales representative. If you want to learn and master how to find buyer, I would strongly recommend you get Eureka Pack. Eureka Pack is a pack that contains 2 manuals plus 27 videos showing and demonstrating to you how to find buyers. So anybody saying, I don't know how to find buyer, obviously the person have not made Eureka Pack. All right. What are the cost elements? The first is the product cost, of course, as usual. You need to know the product cost. I told you for Hibiscus now, my last check was about around 1.7. It might be more now, it might be less. Transport to warehouse, that's 1.7 million per metric ton. And if you are putting about 15 in a container, that definitely is keeping you at, you need about 30 million, actually. Because if you put, even if it's 10 ton in a container, that's 17 million already at 1.7. Warehousing, about 30 to 50,000 per metric ton, 1 to 4 weeks, depending on the location. Transport to the port, you need to know, get the price. That depends on the carrier, the product, and destination. Then freight forwarders, about 150 to 250,000 per container. Shipping line local charges, about 30,000 to 40,000 per container. Freight charge is about, it depends. Freight charge depends because you can't know the freight charge until you know the destination, and it even vary. I'm doing a shipment now to UK, and the price is actually 1,600 euro. Some other shipping line gave less price, 1,200, but they will spend 2 months to get destination. Whereas the one charging 1.6 take 30 days to get destination. So you have to now check which one you want to consider. NXP, that's the application form for for export. That's 8,000 by the bank. 0.5% of the FOB value. FOB value is the value of the goods plus profit without transport. You pay that to government through CBN for inspection by inspection agent, not the buyer's inspection agent, the federal government inspection agent. Logistic fee, about 130 to 150. Logistics and stuffing, not just logistics, and stuffing. So not 30 to 50, about 130 to 150. Terminal handling charge, about 80 to 120, depending on the container size. Marine insurance fee. That's insurance in transit to destination, 0.4 to 0.8% of the import value. Inspection fee, about 100 to 120, or even 200, depending on the parameters and the inspection agent. NAFDAC fee. Now, NAFDAC will not require for this because it's commodity. Rather than NAFDAC, you will need fumigation certificates and fastening certificates, which determined by the government agency. They have different way, the export levy and the price, if you are fumigating per cubic meter of the container. They calculate it for you, but they are not so expensive. And if you are taking a loan, don't forget interest rate from your bank. Don't forget interest rate from your bank. Now, let's look at the pitfalls. Why do people make mistakes? Why do people have issues exporting this item? For example, Nigeria was banned because of one person who exported, and there were pests, tiny ants inside the hibiscus in Mexico. And Mexico tell us we need to put our house in order. And they are one of our major buyers, even though they are among the top buyers in the world, but it stopped Nigeria. But a lot of Nigerians were exporting to Mexico at that time. Foreign materials and debris. Presence of foreign materials and dirt in dry hibiscus flower is an issue. Implement thorough cleaning process during harvesting and processing. Use proper screening and sorting equipment to remove foreign materials. Moisture content. We've talked about moisture. If you're familiar with this conversation, you know moisture is a big challenge for obvious reason. What is the reason? Because moisture can help facilitate growth of mold, which now contaminate the product. High moisture can lead to mold growth. Remember, it shouldn't be more than 12%. The lower, the better for you. Leads to mold growth, discoloration, and even reduce the shelf life. Mitigation. Ensure proper drying before storage. Implement effective drying technique and storage practice. And of course, check the moisture before storage. Color variation. Inconsistent color, which can be caused by mold growth. Inconsistent color due to factors like harvesting time, processing method, or even storage condition that allow moisture to come in. standardized harvesting practice, processing method to achieve consistent color. If you want to do hibiscus, I would recommend you visit the location in Kano where they do the processing. If you are going to Mexico, it must be done in that particular location. You must process it there. Because I think they give a certification for that processing. If it's other market, maybe that might be required. But if you can do it there, that would be good. Insect infestation. Infestation by insect during storage. How do you mitigate it? Proper storage facility. Insect-proof container. That's why there is fumigation. It's not the regular fumigation to control pests. Physical damage. Bruises, crushing, and other physical damage during harvesting, handling, and transport. Handling hibiscus with care during harvest and processing. Appropriate packaging material can protect and prevent physical damage. Quality grading. Lack of standardized quality grading system. That's why you need to test. Sample need to be tested to ascertain the quality of what you are getting. Storage condition. Improper storage condition leading to degradation and even loss of the quality. How do you mitigate this? Store in cool, dry environment with adequate ventilation. Use proper packaging material to protect against exposure to light and air. All this is to keep the product in peak condition and minimize quality issues. Look at this, microbial contamination. This will happen together with moisture. Bacteria, fungi can contaminate it because of inadequate drying, improper storage condition. So ensuring that it's well dried, below 12%, store in a cool, dry place using a new bag, food grade bag, PP bag, inner liner. Implement hygiene practices during processing to minimize contamination as much as possible. And for the farmers harvesting at the wrong stage, before we close, let's hear about Export Act.
John, a determined entrepreneur, desired to go into export business but was clueless about the process. He was introduced to Export Hack, a comprehensive and product-specific online course for mastering export of agro-commodities, processed foods, solid minerals and manufactured goods. John immediately bought the Export Hack for product of his choice at 100,000 naira per product and voraciously learned about the specifications, packaging, documentation, market potential, pitfalls, pricing, risk mitigation, and strategies for securing buyers abroad. Through Export Hack's guidance, John boosted his export skills and became a proficient exporter. With the newfound expertise, he navigated the challenging landscape and successfully avoided common pitfalls in export business. Today, John stands as a master in exports business, a testament to his perseverance and invaluable lessons from the Export Hack. To buy the Export Hack for your product of choice, visit globaltradecollege.com or call 080920000424, 080920000424.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining today.